Hello and welcome to the Mortgage Broker Builder, the CEO1440 Show, where we talk about maximizing your 1,440 minutes every single day. We're kind of focused towards real estate, mortgage, things around housing, but all in all, we're just trying to become a little bit more productive and do more with our day. So this week, I've got a guest. His name's Raf Howery. He owns a company called Cocoon, and they do a lot of really cool things. I stumbled upon them probably inside of the last couple of months, always looking for ways to try and add value, both on the mortgage side, on the real estate side. Came across what I think is maybe one of the coolest sites out there, and I don't think enough people know about it. So Raf, tell me a little bit about yourself, Cocoon, how you got started. Just give me the background a little bit.
Sure. First, thanks for having me, John. Yeah, so Cocoon started initially in 2014 with the idea about focusing on home renovation in particular as a one topic that people have little transparency about. But from there, we recognize that when folks go and buy homes on Zillow or through an agent or through the MLS, once that house is sold, it kind of goes dark, and actually that homeowner is left on their own to figure out how home ownership works. For the majority of us, home ownership is probably the biggest investment we make, and many of us retire on it. Many of us kind of send our kids to college on it. And so I wanted to look at how does one buy more intelligently? How does one invest properly in their home to increase the value of their asset? How to make sure it's always sellable or rentable? So that's sort of the vision. Now we pick up where I always thought where Zillow stops, basically, which is engage that homeowner, but stay close to that transaction, meaning one day I'm going to sell. So knowing that that person is investing in property and one day they're going to be selling, the idea is to really pick up from the moment they're buying to the moment they're ready to sell and stay engaged with them on a regular basis.
So I've signed up, right, and we're doing something with Cocoon on the real estate and mortgage side. What you offer a whole suite of products though, so it's not just that. This is kind of just walk through like all the stuff you do, and I want to get into the more mortgage specific side, the real estate specific side, but just tell us a little bit about what you do, because I believe you pull in a lot of data that I've just never seen someplace else.
Yeah. So technically speaking, to look at home ownership, we needed to understand the home condition. What does this home need over time, right? We call that the PICO. It's like a FICO for a house, meaning, okay, how much is there? How much left on that roof? How much is left on that kitchen? What is that over time? That's going to get replaced. How does that affect the value of the house over time? So to figure out the condition of the house, we need to collect a lot of data. So as you would know, there's all the right public data in addition to the MLS. But the biggest part that I think has helped us a lot is looking at the construction permits and reinterpret all of those construction permits to figure out what was replaced and what was not. So if it's a roof has a 30-year lifespan and you replace it in year 20, that is going to impact your value. It's also going to zero the clock on your PICO. So suddenly your condition is better, your home value is a reflection. But to go back, so there's all this data. In addition, of course, we license the MLS. Then we build a set of solutions, whether that is the home valuation, or that's what we call in the industry AVM, forecast value for next year. What are my neighbors doing? Who's filing for a kitchen? Are people doing the solar? What are they? What are the maintenance tasks that they would need if they live in Massachusetts versus if they live in Florida? So it's a lot of data. The Census Bureau data, all of those gives us those analytics. Those analytics get served in a very pleasant user experience, which I'm hoping you'd attest to. People engage with it. They kind of play scenarios. They understand what they're doing. They get reminded 6 times a month of things that are changing about their home. They get reminded if the home value changes. They get reminded of certain tasks, maintenance tasks that they have to do to keep the value of the house, which include instructions on how to do it and even videos. We remind you of recent sales. Like, well, here's your neighbor, he's sold this. Your neighbor just, there's a new Starbucks that's coming near you. There's a new hospital. There's a new building. So there's this kind of neighborhood information that's kind of always telling you what does that do to my house? Is that interesting? And people love this neighborhood piece of it because it kind of makes people informed, and it also allows them to kind of, it's a curiosity thing. We all are curious as to what is going on around us. So it is. So there are 6 touch points. They also include, all the recent sales, and there may be more than 6. If there's like 3 permits that month, you may get 3 different notifications. So it's not a consistent thing, but that's constantly what you're trying to do is you get access to a dashboard. That dashboard gives you information, and that information is valuable to a homeowner. To answer your question on the mortgage side, right? So what we've done is we've launched this home dashboard, an agent dashboard. Basically, an agent, as you probably know, it's very difficult to stay close to someone after the transaction is done. And so you can do the holiday gift, you can do every once in a while check, but relatively speaking, loyalty is a very low thing, and people do change whether mortgage brokers or real estate agents. What we're trying to do is to take this experience, this news that we constantly engage people with, and make it labeled for that agent. So the agent now, these emails come from the agent, from the mortgage broker. The customer now sees their face, they see them as the advisor, they see them as the counselor. We believe that we want to make agents more than about the transaction, but becoming a wealth advisor almost by focusing on your home. And you're not going to do that if you disappear on them 10 years and come back later. You're going to do that by staying in touch with them and providing value on a regular basis. So we've automated all that for the mortgage broker industry, and I think people are really happy with it.
Hey, John here, not trying to sell you anything, coming at you with a bunch of hot commission breath. But what this is an FYI letting you know that we do have a community where we have shared hundreds of posts, hundreds of sales scripts, techniques, tactics, different things to help you grow your business and maximize your 1,440 minutes every day. I'm not sure if it's for you, but it definitely could be for you. So go in there and check it out. CEO1440.com will take you to a place. You can join our free group, give it a sniff test. If you like it, awesome. We've got a lot of other things. We probably would like to sell you something, but right now that's our gift to you. Get in there, check it out. CEO1440 will take you to a place where you can sign up to be part of our free group. Enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things, and when I kind of stumbled upon you guys, one of the largest things that I'm trying to do, especially on the coaching side and helping people, is how do I stay engaged with my clients on something that's of actual value? Just because I say something is valuable doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually valuable to the client. It's not valuable because I say it's valuable. It's valuable because they look at it, they open it, they don't unsubscribe, they interact with it. And I'm always looking for tools. We're really good in the mortgage space and real estate side. We spend a lot of time trying to get you the first time and then are terrible at staying in touch with you. So came across your PICO score, kind of all the stuff that you did there, and just some things like, I'm going to kind of just say what I feel is kind of just some of the coolest things. And I'm going to tell people how I see this working, and then would love to just get more color from you. Right now, for your kind of basic package on the mortgage or real estate side, people are able to upload 1,000 closed client leads, those kind of things into the database, correct?
Correct.
And at a bare minimum, they're probably getting somewhere 4 to 6 emails, outreach touches per month on behalf of Cocoon, correct?
On behalf of the agent.
On behalf of the agent from Cocoon.
From Cocoon,
so
correct.
If you think about that, if that's 5 touches per month, and you're doing that 12 months out of the year, that's 60,000 touches, across your database if you've got 1,000 people. And I said it before and I'll say it again, though, we don't add value because I say I do. I add value because I'm actually giving them something. Some things that I've found are really cool are, I just get the value. And it's not just the value that I would get from, one of the big box stores out there. It's my value. I can actually tweak it based on the date that I updated the roof or when my kitchen was redone. And I found that the values are much more accurate than what you get on some of the other things because it's really my house. It's not
Yeah,
a guesstimate on my house.
that's correct.
Um, the
That's correct.
maintenance stuff is super cool, and those go out bi-weekly. Is that correct?
Yeah, every other week usually. You
So
get
every
on the
other week.
average 2 emails. There are certain seasons are lower than others and vice versa, but typically it's about 2 emails. You don't want to do more than that in general.
Yeah, and I found it really cool. I got an email reminder on my house to go in and get my hoses out and my sprinklers before it freezes. And lo and behold, like I got that email 2 days later, we got snow.
That's correct.
My sprinklers, my hoses were still outside. I didn't do it, but I had the reminder. And I also went through on my own dashboard and put things in there like call about, getting the pool opened. I put a bunch of different reminders for myself
Yeah.
inside of there. So that was really cool. You've got the recent sales, values, just a whole bunch of stuff. I think you've put together probably the best
Yeah.
suite of emails that I've seen from anybody to go ahead and market to your close clients. And this isn't even like your
Correct.
main product, is it? Like this is kind of just something that is,
Yeah, I mean, all of those are products. We tend to white label them for banks and insurance companies, anybody who serves a homeowner. So what we've done is that we've seen how these large incorporations sort of use our tools to stay close to a homeowner, and we said that's perfect for a mortgage broker and realtor, and so we created a should we say a more user-friendly version for a realtor to brand them, to keep them in a spotlight so that they're constantly reminded that those people are there for you when you need them. We also added a feature just for that, which is the ability to chat with a realtor or mortgage broker in real time. So if I'm on my home dashboard and you are my mortgage broker, I have a chat box. I can send you a text message, and right away you're going to get an alert that you're a customer and on this address just ask you a question. That triggers a consistent conversation and dialogue. So not only it's an email, now but you're only responding to their need. You're not bombarding them with things they don't need. And that's the advantage of this. That's where you're there for them when they need you, but you're constantly reminding them that you're there for you. You're there for them when they need you.
so Ralph, one of the really cool tools that I've seen is you have this whole tool where it looks at like renovations, the cost to renovate. And I'm pretty sure that this gives me different costs if I'm here in Michigan than let's say you in California, in Maine. It costs to renovate. What's the impact to the sales price? I've seen some agents use that particular tool to send out as like a mailer saying, hey, should you renovate to get top dollar for your house? Yes or no? Can you tell me a little bit about how that works? What data are you going after to actually say, does it make sense for me to update my kitchen if I'm
Yeah.
thinking about selling?
Yeah, this is actually our first and most mature product. So it's the way we go around this is we grab all the cost of labor and material at the zip code level, and the construction industry publishes those on a regular basis. We take them and then we basically, simplistically speaking, it's a little more complex than that, but we take, let's just say it's a kitchen. A kitchen will have 30 to 35 tasks. We'll assign the appropriate labor and material to it, then add a margin. The art and science of this is really not in this piece of it, but in the fact which material do you use, and then if you use certain material, what is the impact on labor? Certain material is more costly to install than others. And so what we do is we look at the home value, we look at the neighborhood, we kind of say, okay, this home is about $1 million. Well, if I use what kind of material would a home in $1 million use? They're not going to use a certain, there's a certain point where it's too expensive and a certain one is like too cheap. People would expect something more. So there's this kind of window that moves around where we choose the finish level. Once we chose the finish level, we basically choose the right material for that, and we'll start with that. And then we'll give the first estimate. But then we allow them to go and change it. So they get to modify it as a new experience. They'll say, you know what, I don't want those appliances. I want that kind of appliance. So they'll switch the finish level and get an updated price. So that's sort of in a nutshell what we do for renovation costing. The ROI piece of it, the value added to the property, it basically leverages looking at the fix and flip data. It looks at homes that have been bought and sold twice within a year to 2 years with a permit in between. And from there, we extrapolate what it did. Of course, I'm oversimplifying it. There's a whole team of data scientists that's all they do. But I'm just kind of trying to kind of put it in layman terms. So that's how it's done. We update that on a at least quarterly basis. In certain time during COVID, we had to update it all the time because of the cost of lumber, for example, is like changing on a regular basis. But now it's a lot more stable. Then we send it to a number of estimating services around the nation to validate. What we're looking for there is the availability of labor. Because even though there's a certain standard labor cost, but sometimes that labor cost changes if the market is hot and there are not enough contractors on site, so then they'll start to raise their prices. So we'll try to check and validate that along the way. So that's what we're going to do.
Hey, John here. If you're anything like me, you like to get in, poke around, you like to check things out before you go diving in head deep. We've got a group where you can do that very thing. CEO1440 is a community. We post in there all the time. There's hundreds of different people, a lot of different conversations, and things that you may be able to take away and apply into your business. Now, the guarantee, I can't make you any guarantees. It's not going to 5X your business, but what it might do, it could 5X your business, probably will give you some things that you can tangibly take away and start applying in your business every single day. Everything we post may not be for you, but it definitely could be for you. So check it out. The group's free. Would love to see you in there. CEO1440.com. Enjoy the rest of the show. I find that to be a really interesting area there. And especially as I lean into business with real estate agents and other places, a large percentage of our homeowners right now today are kind of like our boomers, right? They're older. They're in homes that are 30 to 40 years old that maybe haven't had a lot of renovations done, and everybody's going out and trying to market to that particular property. And I mean, a third of these are owned free and clear also. So it's like they have a bunch of equity. And there's, it's getting handed off to a kid, or somebody passes away or ends up in a senior living home, and they don't really know what to do with it. Like, does it make sense to put 50 grand into this house? Maybe if I can sell it for 100 grand more. But maybe I put 50 grand into it and I get 45,000 out. So it doesn't, there's a real rub there. And I think that it's an area that people don't, like, to me, I look at that and I've went through and did a bunch of examples. I did it on my own house and I ran it through and I emailed the little plan to my wife. We're redoing a bathroom. She now has got to the point where she's sending me things from Cocoon to tell me that she's got the budget lower than you. And I'm like, well, I wasn't negotiating against it. Like, now because it's lower somehow or another, like, it makes it better to do. So she's found a way to use that thing as a negotiating tool against myself when I was trying to just use it to tell her, like, hey, it costs way more to do that than you think. Look at this. Now it's,
am I causing marital problems, John?
you're totally, but I do believe that, a large chunk of the homes out there, this is one of the tools that if I was a real estate agent trying to sell this would be where I would be landing within my client's inbox. Hey, thinking about a new kitchen. And that would be maybe this month. Thinking about a new updating, paint and carpet. What does it do to your home? Go in, look at and I would probably do one email a month from my own database, driving them to that, just to in addition to the 5,000 emails you're sending, to just be in front of my clients again with that thing of value. I think that's just an amazing tool that you have.
Yeah, and there's a version of that called Prep to Sell. So you switch that, and then with a Prep to Sell, you're doing the simpler projects, the things that you make the house ready for, paint, that kind of thing. And there's even a lower finish level for that. Like, there's a different finish level for that. And we send those to all of our mortgage brokers and realtors clients. We send an email once I think it's every other month, where we say, hey, before you think about selling, prepare. So you go and you play with this, and that sends a signal, of course, to the mortgage broker or to the realtor that, hey, this person is thinking about selling soon.
Yeah, and you can kind of tie that to the next thing. I can go in my dashboard. I can see which clients clicked on which emails, which ones they read, and I can see that Sally over there clicked on this one. She clicked on it right? She was in there. She was engaged with that. And, when Sally calls me, I might not be as surprised.
That's correct. One of the other things is that also when your customer is on the dashboard and they click on some features will trigger to you a message that says your customer is thinking about X, you may want to contact them. And some of the agents really love that one because it gives them an excuse to call that customer. It gives them an excuse to kind of engage with them. And so that's a feature also that's available. And it's sent in an SMS because we found that people are on the move. They don't want to go through three emails. It's like a quick thing, this is the home that did it and here's what they've done, and you just kind of act upon it, and people really love that feature.
Yeah, I get, like I said, I get the emails or the text to let me know that so-and-so checked out their home value. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. So a lot of the agents that we work with, they maybe haven't closed. They don't have 1,000 closed clients. Maybe they have 215. And they tell me like, I don't, 1,000's great. I don't have 1,000. What would be your recommendation for somebody like that? And even if you have 200, I think your product is great for even 200 clients. But what would be your recommendation for them, or how would you tell them to maximize the program if they don't have 1,000 clients to upload in there?
Yeah, so if they're engaged, like one of the things we do is we give the agents a QR code. That QR code they make it available. For example, let's say they have an open house or they're meeting with folks. Once that customer scans it, we'll grab that customer for them and they automatically go into that database. So they start to run events. Like we're working with a group here in California right now where they run community events for an entire city. They do all these activities. And what they're doing is they're taking the QR code, they're making it part of the brochure that you come to the event. So everybody's scanning it, and now everybody's part of their database. And now not only you're getting the emails from us, but you have the database so you can do other things with it, but it's available. You can see it on your dashboard and you're able to manage that. So the idea is with the QR code is that you start to kind of bring in people through this tool. It's it becomes more of a lead generation, but it also allows you to grab as many people as you can in an event, and you just have to make sure that that QR code is available for them to scan.
So I can use it for my closed clients. I can use it as like a lead magnet or something,
Exactly.
right? Just at an open house, somebody scans it. And when they scan it, it kind of takes them to a page where they go in and claim their own addresses, kind of how you get their data, correct?
That's correct. And we're adding a new feature. I'll announce it here in the next month. They'll be able to, let's just say that customer doesn't own a home yet, but they're thinking about it. So we're allowing them to browse as many home dashboards as possible so that they can get informed. And then we'll tell the realtor or the agent or the mortgage broker that your customer so-and-so is looking at these properties. So they'll start to get a feature to actually grab those. But that's probably not going to be until the beginning of the year when that feature would go out.
So let me just get this right. I could, through a social media post like, hey, you're not ready to buy a house yet, or you're just looking, scan my QR code.
Yeah.
And every time you go to an open house or you're looking at a property, check out its PICO score first.
That's correct.
And it'll give them a value based on their neighborhood. We'll give them all the other things like recent sales in the neighborhood, the permit data. They can go through and put in if they updated the bathroom, what it would do. So this becomes a super, super powerful first-time buyer tool at that point.
Right. That's exactly right. Exactly right. And now the agent is in the position of being an advisor. Now you're telling them, I know what you're looking at. Here's my suggestion as to which home you should be considering more seriously. I know the market really well. This is where you kind of position yourself in a very advantageous position because you know what they're thinking and you're able to provide your subject matter expertise, which is what they're hiring you for eventually.
Well, I think of things just even taking it that next step. if I'm out looking at purchasing a home, and right, we just got all the stats in. First-time home buyers right now are 40 years old. This is the first time they're doing it. 50% of those are married couples. 25% of them are women, and there's only 10% of them are single dudes. So single dudes, take this thing, find a house that you can go in and look at your sweat equity, put it in there, say, I'll gut the basement, I'll put in new bathrooms, and then every 2 years they allow you to make up to $250,000 tax-free. So like, it can give me that. I think that I didn't even know that this was a thing that was in the works. But that is like, that turns this into a super tool at the next level. And, it needs to be, that QR code needs to be at every open house. Come check out my house.
That's the plan. That's exactly the plan. We'll add more features. I mean, there's a whole roadmap, but this is the one that's going to come, it's going to come live soon. The thing is, like anything else, John, it's about how you use stuff. It's not whether you have them or not. It's being creative. So we're trying to provide not just the tools, but the ideas on how to use those tools. But I bet you everyone in the market may think of other ideas. And if they have ideas, please reach out to us. We're happy to kind of explore this. I know you've been amazing at actually giving us some very valuable feedback on our product. And I think we've responded, as you probably know.
Hey, if you're listening to this, quick reminder, we have a free group, CEO1440.com. Jump in there. Tons of posts, tons of information, a lot of stuff we're bringing day in, day out to help you do more with your 1,440 minutes every single day. CEO1440.com. Check it out. Well, I think that we live in a world today where there's not a lack of information. There's not a lack of tools. There's every single person, right? There's 1,000 people that would coach. I can go to AI for sales scripts. There's so much information, but there's a disconnect between actually taking the information and applying it to the next thing. It's like going to the grocery store. There's all the food in the world, but I need to know, like, how do I to preheat the pan before I just throw something in it? It's like there's little things if you don't want your food to taste like crap, like how do I cook well? And I think that with something like this too, one of the biggest like kind of criticisms that I would have of your product is not even a criticism, but it's that there's so many things that it does. It's almost like I can use this thing 1,000 different ways where, a pen, I can only do one thing with it. Two, maybe I can stab somebody and write. So but to anybody that's out there, just so you guys know, the product I think is super cool. And if you're a loan officer, there's dozens of ways you can use this. All of your closed clients should be getting it. All of your pre-approvals now should be getting this tool. It helps you move higher up in the funnel. So get to the client before they ever get to a real estate agent. Start getting in front of them with this tool. And you can send it to your closed clients. You can send it to your hot leads. You can send it to those, leads that you got from Zillow or wherever. And just so you guys know, for the price point, as far as where this sits at, it's about $1,200, so roughly $100, a little more than $100 a month that you pay for 5,000 emails to go to your clients. If you start just looking at that, if you've got 1,000 people in there and you're sending out 5,000 emails for $100, like that's dirt cheap. It's pennies per piece of communication. And I've found my unsubscribe rates to be super low. Do you see that across the board? Like clients just don't bail on it?
They don't. And we also gave the client the ability to say, I don't want those emails, but I want those emails. Like, so they say, I want the home value, but I don't want the maintenance task. I want the permits, but construction's near me, but I don't want recent sales. I've seen some of the folks use that feature. But not very rarely we get unsubscribed. Like I've never had anybody that says, I don't want all these. Everybody wants, well, I could tell you, everybody wants what's happening around them. Everybody likes that. That's the highest click rate. Because you're providing news, right? You're providing news, which is kind of unique because it's unique to your home. You're not just giving you just generic news that's going to impact your home value. And of course, the home value is always going to get a click. And of course, recent sales. Those are the ones that always get. The maintenance side it's got lovers and haters. Certain people really love it. Certain people say, I'm too smart. I know how to maintain my home. Get out of my way. Perfect. You can unsubscribe from that.
Yeah, I had an agent say that one of their clients reached out and said, are you saying that my bushes, like that my home is in disrepair? And she's like, no, we're just like, it's just a reminder, trim the trees before winter. And
Yeah.
it was very funny. It created a
Yeah.
conversation.
Exactly. That's the point.
So, right. So if they're reaching out, like it's,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
I mean,
awesome. Yeah.
I've had people say, it's like, well, what if they don't like the home value? Good. This is where you play your role and say, I think your home value is what it actually triggers a conversation. If I'm right all the time, if we are right all the time, and the agent sort of becomes a passive thing, and the whole thing we're trying to avoid, which is where we stand out from the competition, is not to get the same emails every month repeating the same value proposition where it's so stale, everybody's familiar with it. Like, I get them and I never read them. It's just because it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
not, and here you're letting the customer actually provide data and engage and get answers, and it looks different every month. It's not like the same every month, and that's what it makes it, I think, unique. We don't want them bored. That's really the thing we're trying to avoid.
Yeah. And I found on the PICO score, right? I have a home that was built in 1975. It's pretty old. When I go through and use, there's home whatever, some of these really big platforms out there that charge,
Yeah.
significantly more, and they make the agent pay and partners. And I go and look at that. I just recently had an appraisal done on my home, and that one of those big sites has my house being worth about $250,000 less.
Yeah.
Right, just because there's been updates, it doesn't really know. I'm kind of rural, which doesn't.
Yeah.
And within your app, I went through and
Yeah.
actually put that, in 2015, I had a new furnace put in, the date of the roof being put in, and I can list out about 20 different things that I can go in and
Yeah.
and update. And every time
Yeah.
I do, it changes my PICO score and updates my value. So the more accurate the data I put in there, but then as my emails come to me, it doesn't forget all that work. It's bringing me the new value based on my dashboard, my actual insights, to the point that it's kind of like something I wouldn't want to disconnect, just 'cause
Yeah.
I have proprietary stuff that I've put in there,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, and it's especially if you kind of go and get your home value. There, most folks in the value, most companies, they don't use like the permit data in the valuation. We do it because we spent a lot of years on it. Uh, but some work doesn't require permits, but it will still add value. Painting a house is not something you require a permit for, but it will add value to your house. So we wanted to give the homeowner, and this is, when I say the homeowner, I was one, and these are things I wanted, so I kind of reflected my own need. I wanted to see, okay, if I spend X on my house, what does it do? It makes me excited to see that I'm actually not just spending money, I'm actually making money. And that's actually engagement. For me, that is positive engagement.
Hey, I want to get a quick message to you here about adding value. And our industry is terrible at telling you, do this, do that. So many people want to add value to you, but value is not in what I give. It's what you receive and whether it makes sense for you or not. We've got a community, CEO1440, where we post every single day, lots of things, sales scripts, a whole plethora of things. So I don't know what particular things are going to add value to you. They probably all won't, but definitely some of them will. The community is free. Would love for you to get in there, sniff around, poke around, and maybe there's more stuff we can do. But I know it starts because if you're anything like me, you like to get in there, check things out on your own before you go and sign up for some large commitment. So get in there, check out our group. I bet that there's something in there and there's little things that you can do that had you known 6 months ago, you'd be making more money today. Join the group. Look forward to seeing you in there. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, it does a lot of really cool things. And if you're a lender and you're looking for something, right? We're coming up on Thanksgiving. By the time this is out, it'll be after Thanksgiving. But if you're looking at giving something to your clients more than the pumpkin spice recipe that's set in your CRM to go out on Wednesday, like you want to be in front of them all the time with things of value. I don't know that this is right for you, but it very well could be. And I see it as one of the highest value to the lowest price things that are out there today in order to do this. So I think it's really, really cool. And someplace in here, I'll include links for you to go and check it out. And then we've been building on our end kind of a whole tutorial. You guys do a really good job on Facebook and different places, but we've been building an internal tutorial with like sample emails different things that you can send out in addition to talking points. How do you upload a database? And I know you guys have it all also. Just people often come to me, they want
Yeah.
that there's a disconnect between where you're at and where they're at. They want a little bit more hand holding. So we try and do that. But this is something, again, loan officers, real estate agents, for the price point that this is at and how many touches it will get with your clients. I think it's almost a no-brainer to do, as long as you've got some close clients and somebody in your database and you have a desire to sell more real estate.
That's correct. And you need numbers, right? If you go in and join in and just upload 5 customers, well, they're, statistically speaking, you're not going to get engagement because you don't have enough people. So you need at least 50 folks to kind of start to see the results. And that's how I would work. But then you can build from that. And eventually you'll see, we'll add some features that allow you to create a certain viral effect or having more people join.
But I mean, I could go through even, and that's a thing that I get from people is I don't have enough close clients, like I said. But even if you have 50 close clients and you're still doing, like, these people are out posting on social media all the time. And they're posting, they're getting, 100 views on the thing, or they're posting, somebody else's listing. I mean, you could even go and take somebody else's listing and just break it down. Hey, this current home here, take a snapshot of the PICO score, came in at a PICO score of this, this, and this, looks like a great buy because if you updated the bathroom and this, you're going to get $50,000 more. You got questions about this home or anyone else? Hit me up. Like, it's a tool that will allow them to do that. And that's way better than just saying, open house this weekend, come see me, or whatever they say.
That's correct.
So it's really cool. Any other kind of pointers that you would have if you were an agent out there and you were trying to use this product or just anything as a whole, any pointers you would have for mortgage person, agent? Like you said, you've been doing and playing around in this space since 2014.
Yeah, I think there's, so because it's a numbers game, I think you could use this tool to use it for community events. So I've seen some of the folks that have the large numbers tend to add them in bulks, and they tend to come from community events. Usually it's an open house where you invite a lot of people, or you'll do something for, the little, town hall, there's something. So the more you do these smaller things, the better. And then I think you can also start to kind of create a referral program from there. So in other words, you send it, you're the broker, I'm the homeowner, I get it, and you ask me to refer you, and now suddenly all I have to do is send your QR code to my customer, and now they're automatically on yours. So creating some of those kinds of events is what's going to grow your numbers, and because it is a numbers game at the end of the day. And the more we try to make the agent look really good, because it is really, and you've seen that the quality of information is not, it's not boring. It's not one where it says, I've seen this before. It's something that I really care about. And so if you can translate that into is there a referral from that? The more people get, stickiness improves. But at the end of the day, I think it's a numbers game, and the more you do events like that, the more numbers you're going to have. And I think it would be worth all the effort, because the issue with most of those events is that there's a cost associated. So if you don't have a very effective way to capture leads, it can be a waste of money. This is a way where you're actually capturing it. You just have to be very disciplined at trying to get people to scan your QR code.
So they scan the QR code, and then they have to claim their property and fill out just a couple basic pieces of information.
They don't claim their property. All they have to do is give us their email and their home address. They're done. Okay. We take care of everything after that.
And from there, they will then start to get emails about their home, that kind of stuff.
From the agent. That's correct.
And the agent dashboard, if you haven't seen it, but every time they go back to their dashboard, over in the left column, there's a little picture of your head and your logo, your contact info. They can chat with you. They can do some different things.
Yeah. You can also put your website there, and it will pop up over. It says they need to see that.
Have you ever seen anybody run ads to these? Like, have you ever had an agent just run Facebook ads to?
I've seen it on a Facebook. I personally have not seen it, but I know there was one agent, I think I'm gonna say in Massachusetts, that ran a very big campaign. I don't remember if it's Facebook, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I know they ran a big campaign because suddenly we saw like a huge amount of registration. So I reached out to him and I said, you ramped up really fast. He said, yeah, I just ran an event, an ad campaign yesterday. I'm like, okay, but I did not really honestly know if it's Facebook or not, so I don't want to claim it. But they did something.
Well, I'm sure that it would work if you understand how to run ads and how to do those things. And so people are limited. So another question, and I've gotten this before. I'm limited to 1,000 people. Let's say I max out my 1,000 people and I want to put more in there. They just reach out to you and they buy them additional seats. You just buy them 1,000 or whatever it is.
You get them in blocks of 100.
Okay.
So I want the extra 100, 200, 300. You just need to reach out to us, basically.
Awesome. Any way to co-brand this? Is there a way for like an agent?
You can white label it. Yeah, I mean that's our core business, John. Initially, we white labeled all this for the banks, right, and the real and insurance industry. So you can white label this whole dashboard. So let's say you're a very large brokerage or a mortgage servicer, you take the entire suite, you make it look like it's yours, basically, and people will click on it. That's a different type of agreement. It's an enterprise agreement, but that exists. And there's also like bulk pricing. So let's say a brokerage has 100 people. We can do like a whole package for everybody.
Well, at the end of the day, this is a really cool tool. So whether you're a large brokerage, whether you're Sally over there selling real estate out of your kitchen, I believe you guys put more data back in the hands of the little guy than anyone else. And our biggest competition is, it's not whether or not we're going to use AI or those kind of things. It's how do I apply it to my business to actually add value? So we've got a company now. 20 years ago, this would never have been possible because there's no way you would have needed a team of 1,000 people to curate all this data. So we have,
and it still requires people. Trust me, it's still. I mean, it's not. This is a 10-year worth of effort just collecting all this data and making some sense out of it.
Well, and back in 2014, a lot of the stuff you were probably building in 2014 is so easy to build today.
Yeah,
but it's in 2014. It was not easy to build.
And the data was much worse. Now we get better quality data than we used to have.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on here. I think that this is super cool. So someplace in here, I would point you guys to places where if you've got questions for me, maybe a discount code, coupon code, something like that. There'll be some things in here. Cocoon, it's Kukun. You can check it out there. Like go back through the link that's anywhere here. And if you're looking for or struggling with what do I have of value to get in front of my clients, I have not found, and I've used a lot of different things. I don't know that I found something better as a real estate agent or a mortgage broker than this particular thing that's out there right now today at a price point even anywhere close. So you guys have built something super cool.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Just for everyone, the company is called Cocoon, but the URL is mycocoon, so mykukun.com. But I think you're going to put that in.
And I'll link them to your Facebook page and some other things there. So, hey, I appreciate this. Thank you for your time, and take care.